What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. All right, today I'm doing something a little bit special. We're going to go over Dragonball Super Manga Chapter 61. If you guys haven't been up to date on this, this is an arc specifically about a character named Moro. Now, I know once this arc is over, I'm going to go over it in full detail. I'll talk about how I feel about the arc. But once this chapter dropped, I felt like, you know what? I need to talk about this. So before I go into a recap of what went on in this chapter, let me tell you, this by far is one of the best Dragon Ball Super chapters and arcs, period, hands down. In the whole Dragon Ball Super arc, in both the manga and the anime, we have had countless villains that had massive potential, but then they didn't live up to their hype. Moro is not one of them. And the way that it's going, it seems that this chapter is going to start off strong and is going to end very strong. The problem with the previous chapters is that these chapters, they would start off strong and then end really horribly. So the manga to me has been lackluster, and it's been a lot worse than the anime for me. But this chapter in particular, this might save the manga, period, because it has King Piccolo Dragon Ball vibes all over it, because we've been focusing a lot on villains that have massive strength. And I know Dragon Ball here and there drops the little gems about characters who have special techniques, and they're going back to the technique route, but then you had Broly and you had Jiren, who are both super overpowered characters that had physical strength compared to none in these sagas, right? But now you have this character named Moro, and he has techniques and magic and things like that, and it makes his character much more interesting because he's not just a brute, right? So let's go ahead and get into Manga Chapter 61. So Manga Chapter 61 is all about Vegeta facing off against Moro, the big rematch, right? And in this manga chapter, Vegeta's going at Moro, going at him full force. And it seems like Vegeta got stronger, but at the same time, his attacks aren't really phasing Moro. So Moro's kind of like taunting him, like, how, like, you got stronger, but you're nowhere on my level. The androids call it out, Piccolo calls it out, Gohan calls it out. Everybody's like, you know what? Like, Vegeta got a lot stronger, but at the same time, he's nowhere near as strong as Moro. Goku senses something. He's like, you know what, man, there's something going on with Vegeta. He has something up his sleeve. Even Piccolo says, I think Piccolo's like, you know what, Vegeta's not that kind of fighter where he would go into a fight and not have a plan, right? He wouldn't just go into it berserk, even though in the past, Vegeta has done that with countless characters many different times, especially the androids. So in this arc, Vegeta's going at Moro full force, and then all of a sudden you start seeing Vegeta landing blows, and you're like, okay, well, Vegeta's doing something to him, right? Then you learn about the technique. Vegeta learned this technique on Yardrick called forced spirit fission, right? So this technique is a technique where he kind of drains energy that people have taken away from other people. So if you've absorbed energy from other things, or if you've absorbed anything from somebody, or if it became or you've attained it through some sort of fusion, he can basically separate it from you. So he makes this comment to Piccolo too, like, you know what, I can separate the two Namek energies that are inside of you all those years ago. I can even do that. So while he's fighting with Moro, every time he hits him, boom, 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 you see these small energy balls leaving Moro, right? And you start to notice that every hit, Moro gets a little bit weaker and weaker and weaker. So Vegeta keeps landing on him. And all of a sudden, at the top, you kind of see Piccolo and Gohan notice that there's a ball in there. Kind of reminds you of a spirit bomb. And Moro notices it too. So Vegeta basically puts his hand up, bah, and then liberates the energy and sends it back to all the places that Moro took it from. So the energy that Moro took from other people, Vegeta took it away from him and sent it back to where it belonged, right? So in this process, the enemies that Moro killed on Namek, the energy was returned to them, and a lot of them returned back to life. Only if they died from Moro taking their energy, though. That's the only way they will be revived. If Moro physically killed them, like the guy that he shoved his hand through, he's not going to come back. It's not happening. But if he stole your energy and you died specifically from energy consumption, then that means that you're most likely, and you were living on Namek, you're going to come back to life. So Vegeta's rocking this guy left and right, boom, 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 boom. The fights panels in this manga chapter are amazing. Vegeta's giving it to this guy. Now, as he's beating him up and taking his energy away from him, you see Moro converting back to the old bearded goat man that we seen at the beginning of the manga chapter. So it gets down to the end of the fight. What seems like the end, it has resurrection of F written all over it. Moro's down on all fours. Vegeta standing over him with the hand, getting ready to blast him. And he told Jocko, "Hey, you know, do you want this man captured?" And Jocko's like, "Huh? Now the only reason we kept him as prison is because, you know, we had nobody to kill him. But if you can kill the man, go ahead, handle that, right?" So Vegeta's like, "Say no more, fam." So Vegeta gets ready to blow him up, and Moro basically says, "You forget, I got magic." So that's another thing that makes Moro an interesting character. It's not just about this brute force and power and things like that. This is any other character, he probably would be done. But the fact that Moro has power, like magical powers, it makes it much more interesting. It makes it a better dynamic. So Moro flies into the air and he goes backwards 7-3. And I forgot what's that little dude's name. Let me see if I can find his name real quick. Whatever, the little short dude that kicks it with 7-3. I forgot his name. Let's see if I can find it. Shimo Rika or Shimo Reka. Yeah, Shimo Reka. Okay, so Shimo Reka in Android 7-3. He goes up there, he zaps Shimo Reka. I don't know why. I don't know if he's absorbing him, but then this dude Moro literally eats 7-3, like opens his mouth, swallows him. It looks all demonic. It looks crazy, right? So Moro swallows 7-3. Vegeta comes up there. He's like, "What are you doing?" Sends out the big energy wave, but it's too late. Moro has absorbed 7-3 and basically transformed into a new being. He fused with 7-3 in a way. And now he's like this hybrid between Moro and 7-3, which looks kind of amazing in my opinion. It looks like Frieza mixed with a demonic goat, right? To me, or it looks like Cell mixed with a demonic goat, or Hit mixed with a demonic goat. Whatever you want to say. So not only does Moro have his magic, but now he has 7-3's abilities to steal other people's techniques. Also, he has 7-3's abilities of unlimited stamina. And on top of that, he said that not only did 7-3 act as a kind of a thing to copy his moves or whatever, he basically treated him like a spare battery in a way. So basically, all of his energy and all of those things like that, he kind of kept a spare component in 7-3. So it's kind of like a little external battery drive in a way. So now Moro's back up to speed. He's fully charged. He's fully powerful. And now this dude has a new technique under his belt. He has the powers of 7-3, unlimited stamina, and if he touches the back of your neck, he can absorb your techniques and moves for 30 minutes, I believe. So we see Vegeta crashing down to Earth, boom, hits the ground, goes back to his base form. All right, Moro comes down there like, "What's going on? Who are you? Why do you look different? Why did you transform?" And he explains to him, you know, the whole situation I just told you about, how 7-3 was like a battery pack, right? And that's where the manga chapter ends. Now, what do I think is going to happen next? The way that they're during this chapter, they go into this very interesting speech. Piccolo gives this very interesting speech, and in the speech, he talks about how Vegeta's trying to atone for his sins. He's trying to atone for his sins. The people that he's killed on Namek, the atrocities that he's done before Frieza, he's trying to atone for it, and he believes that Vegeta is trying to save the universe in order to atone for those sins. You would not give him that much character development. You would not give him that much character development if you were not planning on having him kill the villain in this manga chapter. I know that this is going to be, I really believe that this is going to be Vegeta's chance. This is moment to shine. He's going to win this for everybody. And I think he's going to do it because, like you said earlier, he has the ability to unfuse beings. He's going to use that technique, and he's going to unfuse Moro and 7-3, and then he's going to kill him. That's what I think is going to happen. That's the only logical sense that this makes from this point on. So what I want you guys to do, if you guys can go to Viz, what is this? You guys go to viz.com, and then you guys can read the chapter for yourself. manga chapter, Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 61. You go check it out. Jump in the comment sections. Let me know what you guys thought about the manga chapter. Let me know what you think is going to happen, how this chapter is going to end. Go ahead on the way up, hit that like button and that subscribe button. And until next time, this is this. You are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop, and I am Davey from the 80s. Adios.